Okay. So just give me a confirmation once. If my screen is visible to each one of you and my voice is clearly audible, please
Yes, sir.
give me a
Yes, sir.
oh, great. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 Good. So today, 19/1/2022, we have already completed our 50% part of unit number one, and it's the remaining part. So it's energy conversion devices, and in that I will be covering introduction of pump, compressor, turbine, and windmills. Uh, and we have to work on the energy conversion process only in that. Along with we looking for the construction working for the centrifugal reciprocating pump and compressors, along with the belt and mill turbines. The windmill we have seen that is in case of wind power plant. Okay, so let's begin with this. So the energy conversion devices, the device which are used to convert energy is called as energy conversion devices. So any device which is used to convert the one form of energy into the another form of energy, we can call it as a energy conversion device. That is that may any device. Okay. So based on what kind of conversion they are doing, they are classified into two subcategories. Number one is the power producing device, second one is the power absorbing device. That we have discussed in the our first physical lecture. Okay. First is a power producing device and second is a power absorbing device. The device which produces the power. The device which produces the power. It's called as a power producing device. The device which absorb the power. It's called as the power absorbing device. So what is power exactly producing and what is exactly the power absorbing that we'll be looking for? Say for example, compressor, refrigerator, AC and pump. In order to operate them, we need electricity. So we are paying to run them. So actually, when we run the refrigeration, or when we run the window air conditioning or AC, we have to pay something to the MSCB because we are consuming the electricity. So we are consuming the power. So all the appliances which run on the electricity is called the power absorbing devices. Whereas the device which gives us energy or which gives us electricity, which gives us mechanical power at the end, we can call them as a power producing devices. What are the devices? So boiler, IC engine. IC engine, the output is RPM of the shaft. The turbine is the RPM of the shaft. In case of boiler, we'll be getting the steam energy, thermal energy. Okay. So we can use that steam in the different types of the applications. But we are getting heat energy from this. We are getting mechanical energy. We are getting mechanical energy. And further, this energy is directly converted to obtain the electricity, and from that we'll be earning those different appliances. So the basic logic is there are two different types of the devices. One is the power producing device, and second one is the power absorbing device. The device which consumes the power is a power absorbing device, and the device which produces the power is called as a power producing device. Now we'll be talking about pump. What is pump? So before going to the pump or before going to the classification of pump, I would like to ask you a question. What are the different types of the what are the different two types of the devices? One is a power,
Producing.
one is a power producing device, and second one is a power
Observing.
absorbing. The device which absorbs the power is called as a power. It's called the
Absorbing
device
device.
which produces the mechanical energy at the output. It's called as a power producing device.
Producing
Absorber.
devices.
Power producing device like turbine and
Device.
okay. like turbine and IC engine. Even pump can give us a mechanical energy at the output, but in order to run the pump, we require electricity. In case of turbine is giving us mechanical energy at the output, but in order to run the turbine, we don't require electricity. We're using steam. Okay, so I guess the concept of power producing device.
सर तुमचा आवाज येत नाहीये.
आता येतोय? येतोय आवाज? Am I properly audible to each one of you?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So right now, I guess the concept of power producing device and the power absorbing device is clear to each one of you. Okay. Let us move ahead. The pump. Uh, the basic function of the pump is, what is the basic function of the pump? Pratiksha Mahajan. Now am I audible? Pratiksha Mahajan. Hello? Everybody, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
I guess Pratiksha, the issue is from your end. You can switch on the network. Either you can leave the meeting
Yes.
and rejoin the meeting. Okay. For attendance link, give me a reminder before 5 minutes of the commencement of the lecture. I'll share the attendance. Okay.
Sir.
Huh. So right now we are discussing about the pump. Tell me, Gauri Gauri Kotwal. Yes. Hello. Right now we are talking about the pump. Okay. So may I know what is the function of pump? Anyone?
Lift water from lower
Transfer the water lower.
Okay, good. The function of the pump is, all the functions are right. One is to transfer the water, to lift the water from low level to high level. And one more answer I got, something I don't remember, but the transfer of water is the correct answer. And to lift the water from low head to high head is the another application. Okay, good. So, as we know the function of pump, we must know.
Sir?
Yes. Yes. Who is there? Sir, attendance link पाठवा. Yes. Anybody else? कोणीतरी काहीतरी बोलताय? Hello. कोणीतरी काहीतरी बोलताय? नाही. Okay, ठीक. So, the classification of pump. Once we know the once we know the function of pump, the next point is what are the different types of the pump. So there are two different basic categories of the pump: positive displacement pump and dynamic pressure pump. Hello, hello,
Yes, sir.
hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, there is electricity issue, so I'm facing the internet issues. Okay, so I guess my screen is visible to each one of you.
Yes, sir.
My my screen is visible to each one of you. Please give me the confirmation.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my screen is visible to most of the people, so I guess it is visible. So coming back to the classification of pump, positive displacement pump and the dynamic pressure pump. These are the two basic categories, or the dynamic. We can say dynamic pump and the positive displacement.
Sir, voice break हुई sir.
अभी ठीक है? अभी ठीक है?
Yes,
हाँ.
sir.
So positive displacement pump and dynamic pressure pump or dynamic pump. These are the two major category of the pump. Going into the positive displacement pump, There are two again subcategories: reciprocating pump and the rotary pump. And going into the reciprocating pump, single acting, double acting. In case of rotary, we have gear pump, piston pump, and not limited to that much of the classification. There is a diaphragm type of the pump is there. Incline axis, horizontal axis, high pressure pump, low pressure pump. There are huge category of the classification of the pump, but we are restricted to the dynamic pump, and the in that will be restricted to the centrifugal pump working only. So our task is to discuss about the centrifugal pump, which is one type of the dynamic pressure pump. So let's move towards the pump. So this type of the arrangement might be you have seen somewhere that the water is there in somewhere in the like wells or the pots, and by means of the pipeline connection we are transferring that water to somewhere. Those who belongs to the farmer family, they are very much aware of such a type of the setups. Okay, so this type of the arrangement is done for the centrifugal pump. So this is the low head, this is the high head. So total head will be the difference between this. So just this is the overview of what kind of the arrangement is there for the centrifugal pump water lifting system. Okay, how does it actually work? So the water at a lower level, that is called as the water sump. The water is to be supplied to the overhead tank, that is overhead water tank. The distance in between the low water level tank and the high water level tank is the total head available. Whereas the distance in between the low water level tank to the axis of the pump is called as a suction head, HS. And the axis of the pump to the head of the water, head of the pipe which is to be delivered, it's called as a delivery head. So this is the delivery pipe, this is the suction pipe, this is the impeller. Now along with that, there are the footwalls are there, sternals are there are the walls, delivery walls are there, and the impeller assembly is there. So what exactly happened over here? Let us see. So pump is the device which fall under the category of power producing device or power absorbing device. Pump is power producing device.
Absorbing.
Power
Power
Power absorbing.
Absorbing.
perfection. Perfectly correct. Perfectly correct. Right answers. So pump is a power absorbing device. But when we are using the pump, we are not supplying electricity directly to the pump. In order to run the pump, we require a prime mover. So in order to run the pump, we require a prime mover, and the prime mover is nothing but your motor. So generally, some people call pump as a motor. Those who belongs to the farmer family, na, generally they are telling like motor ana, motor घेऊन जा. So it is like we are calling it as a motor, but it is not like that. The pump and motor is a complete assembly. A motor is actually consume the electricity, and the output shaft of the motor is connected to the shaft of the pump, which runs, and by means of which the water is sucked and the function is done. Actually, the operation is held in this impeller. So this is the complete impeller. This is the casing. This casing is called as a volute type of the casing. Which type of the casing? This is a volute type of the casing. See over here, volute housing. Volute housing, volute casing. So why it is volute casing? Over here you can see the area of that casing is gradually increases. The gap in between this impeller and the casing is gradually increases over here. If you can see my cursor. So the area is gradually increasing from inlet to the outlet. That means the casing is a volute casing. Okay. So the fluid is going out of the system. This casing is called as a volute type of the casing, and the ring is provided in between the casing is called as a diffuser. Then that is the impeller, and here are the guide vanes. So what are the different functions? Let us see. Once motor starts to rotate the shaft of the motor is connected to the shaft of the pump. On the shaft of the pump, the there are the impellers. Because of the volute casing and because of this impellers, because of volute casing, because of the impellers, the back pressure or the vacuum is created inside the casings. As the impellers are rotating because of the shaft, they are mounted on the shaft. Once they are rotating continuously, the vacuum is created inside the casing. Once the vacuum is created inside the casing, because of the back pressure, the water collected into the water sump get rise up. The water starts to come into the casing. Here is the water has to come into the casing. It has to pass through the strainer and the footwall. The strainer is nothing but it is a filter. It prevents the impurities to come into the suction pipe. The strainer, it is nothing but a filter. Strainer is just like a grid. आणि मराठी त्याला आपण जाळी म्हणतो. The strainer, it is nothing but it is a one type of the grid. It is one type of the filter which prevent the impurities to enter into the suction pipe. Okay. The second is the footwall. Footwall, it is one type of the wall which is a one-way wall. One-way wall stands for it allow water to flow in only one direction. It allow water to flow only in one direction. Means once the wall is open, the water is allowed to go in upward direction only. If the pump is stopped, the water is trapped in that pipeline only. So water is not allowed to come down into the water is not coming allowed to come out of the system, as the footwall is only one way wall. So strainer is nothing but a filter. Footwall is nothing but a one way wall. It allowed water to go into the one direction only. Means the once the pump stop working, the water get trapped in the suction pipe only. Okay. So water is go, it is trapped into the casing. As here is already a low pressure is there, so it accommodate the space available into the casing. And once it is coming out of this impellers, it allowed to pass through the guide vanes. So guide vanes are give the direction to the water to go into which direction. So the water is coming out of this, water is coming out of this, that is fluid intake. It go into this one, then this one, then this one. This is the guide vanes. So they are the stationary. They are allowed to move water into the this direction, and at the exit, once the pressure is enough to discharge the fluid out of the system, the water is coming and discharge into the discharge pipe. Water discharge into discharge pipe, then it is passing through the discharge pipe. It is passing through the discharge pipe, and then it is delivered to the overhead tank. Okay, so if you all are understood about the working of the centrifugal pump, can anybody tell me what is the function of strainer? What is the function of strainer? If everybody understood, what is the function of strainer? The diagram is there in front of you. What is the function of strainer? Strainer काय असतं? Strainer is filter. Strainer एक जाळी आहे. ते काय करते? What is the function of strainer over here?
ते काय घाण वगैरे
prevent
पाण्यासोबत
the
जाऊन नाही देत सर.
Yes, perfectly correct. It prevent impurities to come into the suction pipe. Very good, nice. Who is there? Kiran Raut, na?
Yes sir.
Kiran, na? Okay, good. Then, what is the function of footwall? Can anybody tell me? This is the footwall. Huh? You can have a look of this footwall. Anybody, please tell me what is the function of footwall?
Unidirectional flow. Unidirectional flow maintain करतो.
Perfectly correct. It is one-way wall. It is a one-way wall. प्रेरणा जाधव आहे का तिथे? प्रेरणा जाधव. प्रेरणा, are you there? प्रेरणा जाधव आहे का?
Yes, sir.
प्रेरणा, are you there? Are you there or not? Where are you?
Yes, sir. I am presenting.
Okay, okay. What is the function? तुला हे समजलं का बेटा? Function of centrifugal pump.
हो,
हाँ.
sir.
Yes. Function of footwall. Footwall काय काम करता है? फुटबॉलचं फंक्शन काय? Anybody else? आणखी कोणी?
Unidirectional
Football
flow maintain.
unidirectional. It prevent the water come
Black
into
back
the coming
back
back.
flow of
It
water.
allows flow to move in only one direction. Very good, Pratik. Nice. Okay. Then the casing is known as a, which type of the casing is this? Which type of the casing is this? This is a volute casing. Which type of the casing? कुठली casing आहे ती?
Volute casing.
Volute casing. Very good. I guess the working of centrifugal pump is clear to each one of you. Let's have a look of the part of this pump. This is the impellers. This is the impeller and this is the impellers. Impellers. This is the impellers, which is fixed into the casing. This is a volute type of the casing. Let's have a look. See, the water is entered. Water is entered. It is entered into the system. This is your strainer. This is your footwall. The water is coming into the system. It enter into the inlet. It is the impeller. Impeller is trapping the water and it is pushing outside. The casing is having a impeller. It is having a volute casing. So continuously area is continuously increasing over here. That is the gap in between the impeller and the casing is increasing. The pressure is rising continuously. It is coming and it is discharged into the discharge port or delivery pipe. Okay. We do have a numerical, but numerical based on the unit one first part and unit one second part. I will be conducting that after the completion of the theory. So in 2 days, we'll be only conducting the numericals. Okay. So right now I'm skipping this part. Classification of the turbine. So the turbine is power producing device or a power absorbing device.
Power
Producing.
producing device.
Perfect.
Producing device.
Perfectly correct. Perfectly correct. Now you are getting what are the different terms associated with the power producing and the power absorbing device. Nice. So turbine is a power producing device. So we have seen steam turbine, we have seen hydraulic turbine, and the gas turbine is one more, which is working on the pressure gases. So steam turbine is installed in which type of the power plant?
Thermal.
And hydraulic turbine is installed in which type of power
Thermal.
plant? Somebody is telling something. Yes, very good. All type of the thermal power plants and steam power plant has a steam turbine. And hydraulic turbine,
Water.
yes, the turbine which is installed when the electricity is developed by means of the water. So let's move and look at the turbines. So this is the one type of the turbine which is the Pelton wheel turbine that we have already seen into the hydroelectric power plant. The device which convert hydraulic energy, the energy possessed by the water, into the mechanical energy is called the hydraulic turbine. So converting hydraulic energy into the electricity. So again, as far as the classification of the pump, the same classifications falls for the turbines too. So according to head, according to their name, according to the flow, we have impulse turbine, reaction turbine, Pelton wheel turbine, Francis Kaplan, tangential axial flow, and all those type of the turbines are there. But but we are restricted to the certain type of the turbines that will be looking into the upcoming parts. So this is the Pelton mill turbine. We are restricted to discuss on. Can anybody tell me which type of, what is this? Let it be the part. What is this? This gray color. What is this? Actually, I have already shown this you into the hydraulic power plant. हे तुम्हाला मी आधी हायड्रोलिक पॉवर प्लांट मध्ये दाखवलंय. हे काय?
सर ते टर्बाईनच्या राऊंड पेरिफेरीवरती असतं ते.
व्हेरी गुड. याला काय म्हणतात? व्हेरी गुड. हे काय? याला काय म्हणतात? प्रेरणा?
Yes, sir.
हे काय बेटा? सांगता येईल?
bucket,
No, sir.
Bucket. Okay, this is completely correct. This is buckets or wells, or as a cup shape bucket. तुम्ही आपला हाताचा जो पंजा आहे, तुम्ही जर त्याचा कप तयार करण्याचा प्रयत्न केला तर तो या पद्धतीने तयार होतो. त्यामुळे याला बकेट और कप शेप वेन्स असं म्हणतात. ओके, ऑलरेडी इथे दिलंय बघा, या पॉवर प्लांट मध्ये या रनर वरती या वेन्स माउंट केल्यात. ठीक आहे. तो याच्यामध्ये जे आहे ते डिवायडर आहे. वॉटर जेट इथे स्ट्राईक होते. हा जो जॉईंट दिसतोय तुम्हाला इथे वॉटर जेट स्ट्राईक होते. वॉटर जेट ही वॉटर जेट जी आहे ते सेंटरला स्ट्राईक झाली की स्प्लिट होते, अर्धा इकडे आणि अर्धा इकडे, 50% ऑन द आयदर साइड्स. And then we'll be getting the velocity of this runner. Let's see the construction. This is nothing but this is a revision come explanation of the Pelton mill turbine for hydroelectric power plant. So this is nothing but penstock. What is penstock? Can anybody tell me what is penstock? What is penstock? We have studied this power plant in case of the hydroelectric power plant. What is penstock? What is the function of penstock?
To bring water from
Increase-
dam to turbine.
Perfectly correct. It is a conduit. It is a closed conduit, and the function of the penstock is to carry water from dam to the turbines. Very good, nice. Then this is water from the dam penstock. This is the nozzle assembly, or we can say this is a spear gate. This is a spear gate. This is the wheel. What can anybody tell me what is the function of this spear or spear gate? You can by viewing the image you can tell me. It is self-explanatory.
that help to increasing pressure of water.
That is used to control the flow of water. एक नळासारखं काम करतं. Just working like a tap. तुम्हाला जेवढा नळ ओपन हवाय, जेवढा डिस्चार्ज पाणी हवंय, तुम्ही तेवढा जास्त नळ ओपन करतात, आणि तुम्हाला जेवढा कमी डिस्चार्ज पाहिजे तुम्ही तेवढा कमी ओपन करतात. So it is same. It controls the quantity of the water coming out of the penstock. Okay. ठीक है. Then this is a deflector. Deflector, it is used to reduce or divert or restrict the jet of the water to strike to the cup. Okay. Then this is the jet. Then this is the casing. This is the casing in which the turbine is installed. Okay. This is the casing. This is the braking jet. I'll talk on that now. This is the shaft. This is the shaft of your turbine. Okay. Now coming to the turbine. This is the shaft of the turbine. On the shaft of the turbine, the runner is installed. The runner is nothing but it is a round disc. And on that disc, there are cups are installed or blades are installed. The section of this is like such a way. This is bucket. This is when we can say this is cups. Okay. Now, when the water is coming and striking to the cup or vents of the turbine blades or runner starts to rotate with a high speed. And the speed of that runner is around 30,000 RPM. 30,000 RPM. एवढा फास्ट हा रनर रोटेट होतो. In order to control the speed of this runners or buckets or shaft of the turbine, the deflector is given, the nozzle sphere assembly is given. We can control the discharge of the water. We can control the jet of the water so that the RPM of the turbine can be controlled easily, as it is associated with the amount of the water striking over the blade. Okay. Even though we are controlling the speed of this turbine blades, when we stop running or when we 100% close this nozzle assembly, when we stop 100% supply of water to strike on this, the runner rotating at very high speed is not stopping instantly because it has a moment, it has a inertia. Means, say it is rotating at 30,000 rpm or 20,000 rpm, and if you even you stop supplying water to that blade, it not stop instantly, it will take a time. So from 20,000 rpm it come to 15,000 rpm, then 10,000 rpm, then 9,000, and so slowly stop. But in order to stop this RPM, this runner fastly, one additional arrangement is done, that is braking jet or braking nozzle. This is the braking jet or braking nozzle. This also supplies water to the assembly, so that when we need to stop the runner or turbine, the water is again supplied from this braking jet so that it acts as a barrier to the runner, and the turbine will start. It acts as a brake, in short. It acts as a brake to the motion of the runner, and the runner will stop. All the operation is carried out inside a casing so that it acts as a safety of the operation, and the flushing of the water is stopped. Whatever the water striking and coming and falling over here, this water is supplied for the further irrigation or sport activity or further processing of the foods. Okay, so this is the working of your Pelton wheel turbine. The turbine shaft, once rotate at high RPM, is connected to the generator, and that generator generates the electricity for the further distribution to the load. This is just an animation for you. So this is a braking jet to stop the. Sometimes the braking jet is given here, but it has to bombard at the opposite side of the rotation of the turbines. Okay. So I guess the working of the pump and the working of the centrifugal pump and the working of the Pelton wheel turbine is clear to each one of you. If it's clear, give me a thumbs up in the chat box. If anybody is having any doubt or query associated with this topic, please ask me. I'll explain it in your native language. No issue. Am I audible to each one of you? Bhumika Sorune, Jadhav Gayatri, Gaurav Handge. Am I audible to each one of you? Any doubt, query? Am I audible to each one of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Any
sir.
doubt, any doubt, query? Shall I
No,
move
sir.
for the
No,
compressor?
sir.
No, sir. Shall I move for the
Sir?
compressor? Yes,
Yes.
tell.
Sir,
Yes, tell me, Kiran.
सर फंक्शन ऑफ व्हील्स काय सर? व्हील्स आपण हँडनी ऑपरेट करतो ना ते.
Wheels?
व्हील पेल्टन व्हील
आपण कशाने ऑपरेट करतो ते?
हँडनी ऑपरेट करतो का काही मशीन वगैरे असते त्याला?
No. You're getting me wrong, beta. Can anybody is having answer for this? His question is, sir, we are operating Pelton wheel by hand. Is it right? Is such
सर
a
एक
statement?
मिनिट ते सर
Okay. I'm showing you
एक
this.
इमेज
Okay. ठीक आहे. मी असं कधी म्हणालो की आपण पेल्टन व्हील आपण हाताने रन करतो म्हणून?
नाही सर, ते स्पिअरच्या जवळ बघा ते व्हील नाव दिलेलं व्हील.
येस येस, हा, हे मॅन्युअली ऑपरेट करतात, मॅन्युअली पण करतात, ऑटोमॅटिक पण करतात, काही इश्यू नसतो याचा, बेस्ड ऑन
सर
द
याचं
पॉवर.
फंक्शन काय असतं ते?
हा जो ना, जेव्हा तुम्ही हा रोटेट करतात क्लॉकवाईज डिरेक्शनला, तर हा स्पिअर जो आहे पुढे जातो, नोझल मध्ये घुसतो, हा एंटर होतो, आणि हा जो आहे पॅसेज ब्लॉक करतो, पाणी यातून पुढे येत नाही. हा जर तुम्ही अँटी क्लॉकवाईज रोटेट केला तर हा बॅक साईडला येतो, म्हणजे ही ओपनिंग पूर्ण 100% ओपन होते आणि वॉटर इथे स्ट्राईक होतो. नळासारखं काम आहे. तुम्ही नळ ओपन करतात, तुम्ही पूर्ण नळ ओपन केला जास्त पाणी येतं, तुम्ही नळ जेवढं कमी ओपन करणार तेवढं कमी पाणी येतं. द सेम फंक्शन इज ओव्हर हिअर. दॅट्स इट. ठीक आहे.
ओके सर, हेच विचारायचं होतं सर.
ओके ओके, मी वेन ऐकलं तुझा, तू व्हील्स बद्दल बोलतो. गुड. एनिबडी एल्स, कुणाला काय आणखी इश्यूज? Shall I move for the next point? Shall I move for the next point? If anybody having no doubt, Kiri, just give me a feedback in the chat box so that I'll go ahead. Shall I go ahead? Okay. Thumbs up means so please. So the next point is compressor. So this is the compressor. Can anybody of you tell me what is the function of compressor? Can anybody tell me
Increasing the
the
pressure
function?
of gas.
Increasing the pressure of gas, increasing the pressure of air. Okay, and only one function from girls, Prerna.
Yes, sir.
Compressor बघितलंय कधी? Let me ask anybody. देशपांडे, भक्ती देशपांडे, पूजा भोसले.
Yes, sir.
भक्ती, कॉम्प्रेसर बघितलंय कुठे तुम्ही?
Yes, sir.
काय कशासाठी वापरतात कॉम्प्रेसर?
Mostly compressor are used in refrigerator.
Okay, good. Refrigerator, it's a technical application. Very good. Then the Pratiksha Mahajan. Pratiksha Mahajan, you are there or not? Or then Bhosle is there. Pooja, yes, Pratiksha. Tell me, have you seen somewhere? Have you seen compressor somewhere?
In refrigerator.
Okay, so I guess you and some, what is her name? And Deshpande both have seen the same refrigerator, huh? Am I right? Pooja Bhosle. Pooja Bhosle.
Yes, sir.
There is. Have you know any one application of the compressor?
Increase the pressure of fluid.
Okay. Rahul, Kiran, Rahul,
Yes,
please
sir.
tell me one application of the compressor.
सर हाय प्रेशर एअर कशात आपल्याला फील करायचे असले त्यासाठी एअर कंप्रेसर वापरतो.
Okay, ठीक है. Very good, Rahul.
टायर्स मध्ये वगैरे आपण यूज करतो कंप्रेसर.
Very good, very good, Rahul.
इलेक्ट्रिक मोटर.
राहुल, कुठे वापरतात?
इलेक्ट्रिक मोटर कॉम्प्रेस.
इलेक्ट्रिक मोटर मध्ये कॉम्प्रेसर वापरतात.
नाही.
संकेत इज नॉट देयर. आय गेस संकेत.
कलर देण्यासाठी पण वापरतात मूर्तीला.
व्हेरी गुड. स्प्रे पेंटिंग. व्हेरी गुड. नाईस. ओके, सो
Gas cylinder.
गॅस सिलेंडर साठी कॉम्प्रेसर कुठे वापरतात? गॅस रिफिलिंग प्लांट मध्ये आपण कॉम्प्रेसर वापरतो. ओके,
सरफेस
नाईस.
क्लिनिंग
ओके,
साठी
सो
पण वापरलं जातं ना?
कुठे?
सरफेस क्लिनिंग.
सरफेस क्लिनिंग हो वापरलं जातं. परफेक्टली करेक्ट. व्हॅक्युम क्लीनर्स फ्लशिंग साठी वापरतात. व्हेरी गुड. So my point is, you all are very much aware of the compressor. Okay, so this is my compressor, the device which sucks low pressure air from the atmosphere and compresses it at high pressure to the system and deliver it whenever required. Okay, so this is just huh. So this is the compressor. It sucks the atmospheric air at low pressure, compresses it into the compressor and deliver it whenever required. So my first question to each one of you: what is this? This is blue color. What is it? This is completely is the assembly of compressor. My first question is, what is this? Have you seen that somewhere? If you've seen this complete of compressor, na, so what is this? Blue color.
Motor.
Electric motor.
Yes,
Motor.
Electric motor.
electric motor. Very good. Electric motor. Nice. And this is your compressor. And this is your compressor tank or air tank. Okay. This is your electric motor. This is your electric motor. This is your electric motor. This is your compressor. And this is storage tank or air tank. Okay. Then application of compressor. Just right now you told me the different types of the application, and some of them are like this. In order to run different mechanical tools, you can use the compressor. Like the person is drilling something, pneumatic drills. So there are pneumatic guns. So pneumatic guns are used to tight and loose the nut and bolts assembly. For spray painting, for cleaning. Somebody has told me the surface cleaning. Okay, yes, cleaning purpose. So operating air brakes in automobile or in machineries, the brakes are operated using the airs. For cooling large building, so air cooler. For filling air in automobile tires, yes, air filling. Refrigerator and air conditioning, ACs. In case of ACs, we do have. In case of refrigerator, yes, we do have a compressor. So not the list is not restricted to this. The list is still going on, and the below thousands of the applications are there available for the use of the compressor. So let us look at the classification of the compressor. So the compressor are positive displacement, dynamic compressor, reciprocating, rotary in case of reciprocating, single acting, double acting or multi-stage or single stage, single acting, double acting. In case of rotary, there are the root bores, vents and screw types. In case of the dynamic, we do have centrifugal, mix and axial flow type of the compressor. But this is a huge classification. Along with this, not only the classification of the compressor is limited to this, we do have a multiple more compressors to study, but we are restricted to the syllabus, so we'll be focusing on the given limited type of the compressors. So we do have a reciprocating compressor. Sorry, we have a reciprocating compressor in syllabus, so we'll be looking on for that only. Okay. So my question to each one of you is: any one of you know the working of IC engine? तुमच्यापैकी कुणाला आयसी इंजिन कसं काम करतं माहिती आहे का? किंवा इंट्रोडक्शन किंवा इंडक्शन मध्ये कुणी आयसी इंजिन संदर्भात तुम्हाला काही सांगितलंय का? डिस्कशन झालंय का? येस और नो? येस और नो? जय श्री निफाडे, शिवानी गोडसे, 42 others. Can anybody know the function of IC engine? No. Yes or no? Just tell me yes or no.
No, sir.
Sir, you are.
Sir.
Yes, sir. No.
No, sir.
Okay. No issue. Okay, no issue. So we'll be looking for the reciprocating type of the compressor. So this is the compressor. So look at the diagram A. Skip. Don't think about the B only. Yeah? Let's have a review of the component of the rotating compressor. So we'll start from this point. This point. Number one is the inlet valve. Inlet valve is a suction valve, air inlet. Inlet valve means air is coming into the system through this valve. This is the inlet valve. Okay. Now say air is coming into the system. Then this is the crankcase. This is the crankcase. This is your crank. This is the crankcase. This is the crank, and this is the crankshaft. This is the cylinder. This is the piston. This is the connecting rod. I am repeating. We have one more unit, that is IC engine, somewhere in the 4th or 5th unit. In that we required the component. So what are the basic component? Let us look. Number one is the cylinder. This is the cylinder. Look at this. This is the cylinder. In the cylinder we have a piston. This is the piston. Then piston is connected to the connecting rod. Connecting rod is connected to the crank. Right now I am telling you few components and their arrangement and their interlinkage. So you have to tell me, and you have to tell me the sequence and their connection. Okay, I am repeating. There is a cylinder. In the cylinder we have a piston. Piston is connected to the connecting rod. Connecting rod is connected to the crank. Crank is connected to the crankshaft. I am repeating. You can write it down, you can remind, and you have to tell me. In the cylinder, we have a piston. Piston is connected to the connecting rod. Connecting rod is connected to the crank. Crank is connected to the crankshaft. And crankshaft or crank is located into the crankcase. The question for you is, can anybody tell me what are the different components of the compressor? I'll help you with this. Number one is a cylinder. In the cylinder, what is there inside? What is there inside the cylinder?
Piston.
Piston.
Very good. Piston is connected to.
Connecting rod.
Connecting rod.
Very good. Connecting rod is connected to
Crank.
crank. Very good. Crank is connected to.
Crankshaft.
Very good. And, okay. Crank is installed in what? Crank case. Okay. Okay. Very good. Now 5-6 part which is very important, that you are very much aware. So you are aware of cylinder, you are aware of piston, you are aware of connecting rod, you are aware of crank, you are aware of crankshaft and crankcase. Only 2 additional parts are there. That is, one is a suction valve, or we can say inlet valve, and delivery valve. These 2 additional parts are there, so that your compressor is ready to explain. Okay, it is ready to go. Okay. Now we are one more time we are repeating. Inlet valve, that is suction valve, delivery valve, cylinder, piston, connecting rod, crankshaft and crankcase. Okay, let's tell me. Inlet valve, then after inlet valve, what is there?
Delivery valve.
Outlet. Delivery valve or outlet valve. Very good. Then cylinder. In the cylinder, what is there inside the cylinder?
Piston.
Piston.
Piston is connected to
Rod.
Connecting rod.
Connecting rod.
connecting rod is connected to connecting
Crank.
crank is connected to
Crankshaft.
crankshaft, and crank is installed into the
Crankcase.
Crankcase.
Case.
very good, very good, very nice, very nice, very nice. So this is the complete assembly of your compressor. Okay. So air is coming into the system. Now, how does that work? Let me play a video. Okay. This is your inlet valve. Okay. This is your delivery valve. Clear? What is this? What is this?
Piston.
What is this? What is this?
Cylinder.
Cylinder.
What is this?
Piston.
What is this?
Piston.
Very good. What is this? What is this?
Connecting rod.
Connecting rod.
Connecting
rod.
rod.
Connecting rod.
Very good. What is this?
Crank.
Very
Crank.
good. What is this?
Crank.
Very good. What is this?
Crankshaft.
Very good. Very good.
Crankshaft.
What is this?
Crankcase.
Crankcase.
Perfectly correct. Perfectly correct. Perfectly correct. Perfectly correct. Nice. Now, as I told you, in order to run the compressor, there is a requirement of motor. So motor shaft is connected to your crankshaft. Right now I'm switching on the motor. The motor shaft starts to rotate. Your crankshaft starts to rotate. And now your crankshaft is rotating over here. Now as crankshaft start rotating, your crank is start rotating, your piston start oscillating, and your your connecting rod start oscillating, and your piston starts to reciprocating. Let me explain the motion produced by each and every component. Piston is always reciprocate inside the cylinder. Piston is always reciprocate inside the cylinder. Then connecting rod is also oscillating. Connecting rod is oscillating. Connecting rod is always subjected to oscillatory motion. Connecting rod is always subjected to oscillatory motion. Crank is subjected to rotary motion. Crankshaft is subjected to rotary motion. Please give me the answers. Piston is always subjected to which motion?
Reciprocated.
Reciprocating.
Very good. Perfectly correct. Piston is subjected to reciprocating motion. Connecting rod is subjected to which motion?
Oscillatory.
Oscillatory
Very
motion.
good. Crank is subject to which motion?
Rotary
Rotation.
motion.
Rotate.
Very good. Rotating motion. Very good. Crankshaft is subjected to which motion? Crankshaft is subjected to which motion? Crankshaft. It is always rotating.
motion.
Rotatory motion.
Rotating.
Rotary motion. Very good. And your cylinder is fixed. It is stationary or it is fixed. The cylinder is fixed. There is no any motion into the cylinder and crankcase, so it is fixed. Okay. As piston is reciprocating, the working of compressor or such type of the compressor is called as a reciprocating compressor. As piston is reciprocating, this type of the compressor is called as a reciprocating compressor. Okay. Now, once the piston is reciprocating inside the cylinder, at that time two valves are coming into the picture, that is inlet valve and exhaust valve. Both valves are coming into the, oh my god, it is 10:40. Okay, so today I have to stop over here because it is 10:43. Somebody will wait for the next lecture. I guess today's lecture is clear to each one of you. Let me share the attendance link for you again into the chat box. The link for the attendance is already shared into the chat box. If anybody is having any doubt, query, please ask me.
सर
Tell me.
सर मॅन्युअल आणि असाइनमेंट बद्दल सांगणार होते तुम्ही.
हा सांगतो. अटेंडन्स लिंक दिलेली आहे. मॅन्युअल्स मी ऑलरेडी गुगल क्लासरूमला शेअर केलं आहे. गुगल क्लासरूमची लिंक पण मी आता चॅट बॉक्समध्ये टाकली आहे. ज्यांना गुगल क्लासरूमची लिंक हवी असेल त्यांनी मला व्हॉट्सअपला हाय करा. मी तुम्हाला गुगल क्लासरूमची लिंक टाकतो. मॅन्युअल ऑलरेडी मी शेअर केलं आहे क्लासरूमला, तुम्ही डाउनलोड करा. एक 10-12 पेजेस आहे फक्त, जास्त काम नाहीये. असाइनमेंट्स पण मी ऑलरेडी गुगल क्लासरूमला शेअर, गुगल क्लासरूमला नाही, मी एका ड्राईव्हला टाकलेलं आहे माझ्या
सर हिंदी, सर हिंदी.
शेअर करतो. हिंदी, हाँ हाँ. तो हिंदी मैं गूगल क्लासरूम के ऊपर मैंने मैनुअल डाल दिया है बीएमई का, आप लोग डाउनलोड कर लो. सबसे पहले चीज, जो लोग गूगल क्लासरूम पे नहीं है ज्वाइन, वो मुझे कनेक्ट हो जाओ, तो मुझे आप व्हाट्सएप पे हाई करो, मैं आपको गूगल क्लासरूम पे ऐड कर लेता हूँ. सेकेंड थिंग, गूगल क्लासरूम से मैनुअल डाउनलोड करके आप उसका प्रिंट आउट ले लो जितना पॉसिबल है उतना. उसमें कुछ छोटे मोटे क्वेश्चन है, आप लोगों को लिखना कैसे है. से फॉर एग्जांपल प्रैक्टिकल नंबर 1, उसके नीचे कुछ क्वेश्चन है, तो उस क्वेश्चन के आंसर आपको, जो ब्लैंक पेज होता है A4 साइज का जिसके ऊपर हम लोग प्रिंट लेते हैं, उसके ऊपर आप लोगों को उसके क्वेश्चन आंसर्स लिखने. ठीक है, जितना पॉसिबल है उतना लिख लो, क्योंकि पता नहीं हम लोग कब ऑफलाइन के लिए चले जाएंगे, कब ऑनलाइन के लिए रहेंगे, डोंट नो. लेकिन हम लोग अपने सबमिशन के लिए रुकेंगे नहीं. ठीक है.